Hey, it's Freiburger, and I'm about to show you a sample episode of a show that we do on MotorTrendOnDemand.com that's called Roadkill Extra. It shows up every single weekday. It's got stuff like outtakes from shows, behind-the-scenes stuff, tech tips, you name it. You can see them all with a free trial at MotorTrendOnDemand.com. You know what the thing is about these Q&As and about just Roadkill Extras in general is that we really like to deliver them to you, but it's so hard to film because we usually don't have time. But the thing is, we all of a sudden have plenty of time with Steve not working on the Duster.
What do you mean?
Oh, you got plenty of free time. You haven't been working on it.
I fixed the rust hole. One of them.
One.
Two.
So yeah, the crop duster's right there. Steve is working on it, but very, very slowly. All right, questions. Yeah. Ready? John Raitano wants to know, what's the smallest V8 in America? I think I know, and I think you know.
I may not know. I actually don't know.
I suspect it's the 215 Buick and Old.
That's the first thing I thought of, but wouldn't there have been some flatheads that were even smaller than that? No, because those are flathead Ford's like a 221. Yeah, but didn't they have some smaller versions?
Oh, a V8 60. You're right. I don't know the displacement of a Ford V8 60. That's a really good call. They could be smaller than that. So, short version, I'm not sure, but those are two pretty good guesses. Clint Yule, as in Christmas time.
Oh, okay. Yuletide calling.
Right. What are Homeless Dave's favorite flip-flops? So these are Quicksilvers, and I get size 13, which is a size bigger than I wear in shoes, because you want to make sure when they wear in that your toes don't hang off the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's key to the whole thing.
Got to be fully shrouding your feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Dom Litgens wants to know, why don't we build a Burnout car Australia style? So that's kind of what the Crusher Impala is. You know, the Crusher Impala is a 69 Impala, blown big block Chevy. What's it got, a 342 rear end in it and little radial tires, and it does good burnouts. Not full on Australia style, but it could, because I've been thinking about putting my 555 big block Chevy in that car with an 871 on it.
Don't they use screw type blowers on those Australian burnout cars?
I think a lot of those guys do, or they put those big injector hats on them. I think that's more often what they do to try and look cool.
Okay, so Crusher Impala, actually that is a pretty good car. I like that thing.
Well, and actually here's a question that ties into that. David Rogers, what really makes a good burnout and why? So my key to the burnout is basically all horsepower and distance and level of violence. Almost any car can do like a brake stand burnout or a line lock burnout, especially if it's a one-legger.
Would you also include control or controllability?
Well, yeah, controllability, although you want some violence and sideways action. You got to have a posse. I mean, that's key. A one-legger can never be a winning burnout. No. And you got to have major distance, but I think just controllability isn't that good. I'd rather see the car all crossed up like this down the street. You know, that sideways is really that's the key.
That could still fall under the domain of control, even if you're sideways. But, you know, you've got a handle on it. But some cars can be just completely out of shape and you know, out of control.
How about colored tires? Are you down with that? No colored smoke? No, it's a shameful.
How dare you even mention that?
Oh, I know.
Do you like it?
You know what else makes a good one is if you can do it with a manual transmission. And actually, let's say you got your burnout started in second. If you can bang shift third and keep going in the middle of your epic distance burnout, that has merit also.
Because wheel speed is the key.
Yeah, it is.
And like you said, a lot of guys don't even know what a burnout is because they'll think a static brake stand is. That's not what we're talking about. And I've done
plenty of them, don't get me wrong, but you know, you can do better.
That's a brake stand though, not a burnout.
You know what else a good burnout for distance has to have for flair? Is the actual smoke exiting the car has got to have a certain style to it. Like, you know how the Crusher Camaro, now that the tires stick out a little bit, the smoke kind of wisps up the quarter panels, which is way better than just dumping out from underneath.
Yeah, I mean, there are all kinds of little nuances. If you really, maybe we should write a magazine or, no, just a
magazine story.
Story for Ilana and Roadkill Magazine.
It's true. That was a good question. I've never had that one before, and I liked it
too.
because it really makes you think. But I think also, you know, you got to get a little bit of smoke in the car. And when you're done, you have to be able to open the trunk and have smoke come out. That's key.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much you have to have efficient and well-placed use of smoke.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like it.
I think that pretty much covers it. What's your next Roadkill giveaway car? Sorry, I don't think we're giving any cars away anytime soon. Oh, this guy, Roberto Corial, wants to know, are we going to do another Roadkill Garage episode like when we took the road trip to Bonneville? We've talked about that a lot.
I like the idea.
You know, we like the vacation aspect of it. So does director Brad.
Yeah.
And the whole crew, I think. Get out on the road, get away from all of these gnats and heat and sweat and bugs.
But the problem is,
not rattlesnakes. And
it may kind of stray away from our normal course of intense suffering to achieve a mediocre goal.
Yeah,
right?
That is the problem. But I really like us being able to go do stuff. You know what my new goal is actually? We've talked about this even on the last Q&A. I want to build a high-performance 4x4, and I found that there is a sand drag strip, which is really a dirt drag strip, about an hour and a half from here.
Yeah, I know
and
about
I
that.
want to go compete because I want to do big wheelies in like a Chevy pickup or something. Terry the Terrier.
I would vote yes. Terry.
Come here, Terry.
Come on, Terry the Terrier.
Oh.
Who's my terrier?
Okay, Gary Kahn has a tech question for you.
Okay, I'll answer it too.
On a 318 heads or 360 heads?
Oh, 360 heads, hands down.
What's really the difference?
Well, the 360 has a larger port on both the intake and the exhaust. The 318 ports are tiny.
We're talking about small block Mopar V8s, by the way.
Plus the valves are tiny too. You have a 1.780 intake valve and a 1.500 exhaust valve. The 360 comes with a 1.880 intake valve and a 1.600, so you're a tenth of an inch bigger on both. But the thing you have to look out for is the chamber size, because the chamber on a 360 head is like 6 or 8 cc's bigger.
But is it also bigger around for the 4-inch bore? And like if you had a small bore 318, would the chamber be too big?
No, that's not an issue. That's perfectly fine. But what you need to do is, most of the guys that are doing a 318 with stock 360 heads, they're working on a real budget buildup. They don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. So, you know, compression ratio is always going to be an issue, because most of the time you're not building that engine with high compression pistons, are you? If you're doing a 318 with iron 360 heads, you're an entry-level guy.
Yeah.
So you have to mill the heads, otherwise you're going to have 7-point-something to 1 compression ratio.
Oh man, just like the OffRoad Challenger,
yeah.
7-point-something compression ratio. That's really bad.
Don't let the compression ratio thing bite you, because that is a real pitfall.
Here's a question I hate. Chad J. Whitney, does Lucky build all the cars? No.
What do you mean? He comes over here all the time.
Really? How come he hasn't painted the Duster yet?
I don't know. He's a lazy bum. Come on.
No, Steve and I do all of the stuff on Roadkill Garage. Lucky does help sometimes on Roadkill, but basically it's me and Finnegan working on that stuff. When Lucky helps, we either mention it in the show or show him in the show. So that's how you can know. Let's see. This guy wants to know what's happening with the Vanishing Paint Challenger. So we've started working on the engine for it, putting it together. Probably day after tomorrow, we'll have it completely assembled, and you'll see all the Roadkill extras about how we did that. But I think we determined that with the Vanishing Paint, which is a 1970 Dodge Challenger that was in like the 2nd or 3rd episode of Roadkill Garage, what we really want to do is build it fairly cheap, but basic, like any guy could do, and do a shootout versus a new Challenger with it. And so we're going to put together the small block that makes about 420 horsepower. Maybe we'll put some better heads on it and make 450 or something like that. But we had talked about putting a T56 manual 6-speed transmission in it, but I think our most recent plan is better, which is just put a factory Hemi 4-speed in it.
Oh, I thought the most recent plan was 5-speed.
Oh, yeah, 5-speed.
Well, whatever. It's going to be a manual transmission, and it's going to be set up. I really want to see road racing, you know, handling, but not, you know, tight course, cone course handling. I mean, I'm talking about real, you know, balls to the walls.
Open track.
Open track car.
Yeah. I want to put a stick in it, but I'd like to keep the car just price conscious.
Oh.
And I think a T56 or any Tremec swap is just going to be beyond what we're trying to do price-wise.
You might be right.
Which is why I was thinking maybe we might have to just bite the bullet and put a clunky old 4-speed in it.
I've got a couple sitting on a pallet up in the rafters.
Yeah, but they're not e-body ones.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I've got one, but I need it. The thing is, my goal for the car really, in achieving that, is to use completely obsolete, neglected stuff that's production-based and make it exceptionally good and, you know, exceed expectations.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, it's not going to have a high zoot, you know, $5,000 front suspension and chassis swap. It's going to be stock stuff, and I'll bet you it's going to work really, really good. I don't know if it'll beat a new Challenger, but I think it could.
I think the key will be in the tires. If we put really, really sticky tires and run the Challenger against OE tires, we can probably do fairly well.
Yeah.
Oh, Bradley Hammonds would like to know, do you prefer a scrunchie or a regular hair tie?
Is he talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, you know, if you get really busy sometimes, you know, you don't have time to get to the barber shop, so you can't work. I mean, I'm telling you, you get that hair in your eyes and all that stuff, and you know, it catches fire when you're, you know, you're gas welding. So I just tie my hair back, and I get all these comments. I mean, I don't know really what the root of it is. What's this man bun thing that I keep seeing in?
Oh, someone accused you of having one, and
all
I almost
the time.
had to
I see it all the time.
You don't have a man bun.
No.
Man bun is that thing on the top of your head.
I don't even know what a man bun is.
I know.
I don't even know what a woman bun is, hairstyle-wise.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, hairstyle-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this question. Taylor Coloni says, how do you pick which cars or trucks go on Roadkill Garage versus Roadkill? Basically, for Roadkill Garage, Steve and I hash it out, and for Roadkill, Finnegan and I hash it out, and it's as simple as that. As a matter of fact, we just did something real similar. You and I built the OffRoad Challenger, and Finnegan and I just bought an OffRoad Hornet. And really, style-wise and actually episode-wise, they're really, really similar. But I don't know. It's just that the hosts agree on it, and that's what we decide to do.
Sometimes it's almost like some of the car projects just happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like we have mutual interest in, hey, let's do this or let's do that, or yeah.
And some of the stuff we do on Roadkill Garage is leftovers from Roadkill. Like we're going to work on the Disgusting. That was a Roadkill vehicle. I suppose we could bring that back to Roadkill also, but I think on Roadkill Garage we do stuff that's a little bit more realistic for the average guy to be doing on a regular time frame, whereas on Roadkill we build a lot more outrageous vehicles, like, you know, the Maserati with the engine in the bed, the Stubby Bob.
Well, it's a garage show.
You know, Crusher, Impala, stuff like that. Whereas on our show, we're doing things that I think are more like what you would be doing in your garage.
Or like the Crusher Camaro. You know, we did a lot of nice work on the car. It performed really well, and you know, I like doing that project.
Yeah, me too.
It wasn't like, hey, let's let's go jump this thing off a cliff or something, right? Yeah, it's like let's build a really fast old school Camaro. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked working on that thing.
That would be pretty good. James Franz wants to know why we haven't built a Fox body Mustang yet. How many Fox body Mustangs have I had? I had a green 89. It was a hatchback. Then I had what was that one I got from Matt King? It was an 86 coupe. It was
an earlier coupe, yeah. I don't know what year it was. I think it was like an 81 or 2.
Oh, you're right. It was a square headlight one, rectangular headlight one that he put a later model front clip on. So I've had 2 Fox bodies, maybe more. I can't remember.
Well, you've actually used a couple for parts cars too, right?
We have. We've parted out a couple on Roadkill, but I really like them. But honestly, the thing that stops us is smog. We answer this question this way all the time. We stick with stuff that's 75 and older because it's smog exempt in California.
That was going to be my one-word answer for sure.
Yeah, smog.
Yeah, because actually they're a pretty good car. V8 and 5-speed stick.
They're really fun.
Yeah.
They're really, really cool cars. I kind of wish that I had bought one new. Okay, let's go one more question. Well, here's a quickie. Are you going to upholster the crop duster when you paint it? Yeah, I actually have a cool upholstery kit for it. We need one more juicy question, though. Let's see. Oh, here's kind of an interesting one. Kerry Baldwin wants to see if we would build a Dodge V10 like the one in my truck. Have you ever considered like hopping one of those up or swapping one into another vehicle or anything like that? Because they're basically a Magnum small block with extra cylinders.
Yeah, but they're very heavy, aren't they? Like 780 pounds or 800 pounds?
I don't know.
I was reading about them, researching them a little bit. Yeah, They're just too long and heavy and ungainly for a muscle car application.
How about Viper version?
I don't know. I mean, a Viper version
to get. I mean, the V10
parts availability. It would be something that you could do if you just wanted to do it on a lark. But I mean, you know, from a practical standpoint, to think it's not my vision, like where I would dedicate time and say, boy, I'd really like to stick a truck V10 in my Dart.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it would be cool.
How about an older truck though? Would you put one in like a W200?
No, I would like one in a truck just like yours.
Stock as is?
Yes.
Yeah, my truck is a 99 Ram 2500. It's a V10, it's a 5-speed, and it's a 4x4. And I had to custom order it that way because nobody in California actually wanted to buy a truck like that. So I bought that thing new, and unfortunately it's sort of rotting. It is really good, actually. People say, why didn't you get the diesel? The diesel was way more expensive, and I actually liked that V10 better when I drove them both. I
drove that thing around towing cars like 15 years ago when you had it on the road. It was
great.
It just pulled a trailer effortlessly. Yeah. I mean, really, that's the ideal application for the V10.
You know what else makes that truck great?
What?
It has a Dana 60 in the front, a Dana 70 in the rear.
Wow.
It has an NV 4500 transmission and a NV 241 HD transfer case.
No, that truck is, it's really good.
The worst part about it is all of that generation of Dodge trucks, the dashes on them sit in the sun and they just shatter and fall apart. Yeah. And it is just trashed and like makes the truck really like unpleasant to drive because all that stuff's just rattling because so much of it fell down behind the dash.
Oh yeah, that's a nightmare.
But I mean, a bummer. I wish I'd taken better care of it and kept it out of the sun. But,
it's a super cool truck though.
It is.
I've always kind of admired that thing.
Yeah, but I'll never hop it up. It's perfect the way it is. It's just whenever I need to tow something, I register and insure the thing and tow it and then park it again.
Did you do a leveling kit on the suspension and stuff?
That is the one mod. It has a Skyjacker, yeah, not Superlift, Skyjacker leveling kit in the front that actually made it about an inch too tall in the front. It needs to either come up an inch in the back or come down another inch in the front. And it has a 315 tire on it, which is like a 35. And I also put a aftermarket Panhard bar on it. And it has PSC steering box. So yeah, it has a few little goodies, but
yeah, it's 4-wheel drive. I mean, that truck is just, that's what I like in an off-road vehicle is a trail rig like that. I mean, you could just...
It's terrible off-road. It wheel
Really?
hops. Terrible.
Oh man, you've got to fix that.
You get in sand with that thing, just let the clutch out, it starts to wheel hop.
Oh boy.
It's terrible that way.
Okay, never mind then.
It's because it has a factory block this tall on it. I need to put a single leaf spring on it and fix that.
Yeah, that would be good, but I mean, the thing's not made for rock crawling. It's not made for extreme off-roading. It's just you could take that thing out in the desert and, you know, go exploring, go check out some old, you know, mining towns, ghost towns, and stuff like that. I like doing stuff like that.
I've done that. I went on my honeymoon and did exactly that.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you had the right idea.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end on my great idea. That's it for this Roadkill Extra Q&A. If you need more Roadkill Extra, go sign up right now.